Yeah. You know what they say? Honesty is the best policy.
And I couldn't disagree more, dude. If I was as honest as I wanted to be, I would have nothing.
I think that says more about you than the honesty policy, you know?
What? That I withhold a lot?
The fact that you can't be honest and that scares you that it's gonna like throw why would you think that way?
Oh, because people are coddled little bitches, and it's one of the reasons why we don't understand French people that often. Because when someone is honest to someone else, they normally can't handle it. They take offense to it. They don't like being called out on their shit. So we live in a society of pussified bitches. So I have to quite honestly hold my tongue, bite my tongue. Can't say everything that honestly I want to say. And here's the other side of that coin. Here's the other side of that coin. When I don't speak and say what I honestly want to say, I sit back and I watch what unfolds in that person's life, or what unfolds from that situation that I withheld my honesty from. And I have yet to be proven wrong. So when I stop talking, that's my way of really...
It's Cory the motherfucking prophet over
I'm
here.
I'm not a prophet. I just got a handful more trips around the sun, you know. So when I'm speaking to someone and I'm analyzing it, my day job, my numbers job is all about analytics. So I'm used to analyzing things. So when
I think there's a difference between being honest about, you know, when the show is taped, or, you know, when you're going to be home from work, or, you know, like that kind of honesty. Or if, let's say you're dating someone and you accidentally, I don't know how you accidentally do it, but you kiss someone, and you got to be honest about that. And then there's the honesty about, you know, just being a dick about like spreading your opinions to people. That's a different kind of honesty. That is just oversharing your opinions.
I would agree that there are different levels of honesty, but then there are times where an honest moment should be okay, but because you know that you're dealing with someone that can't handle it, you withhold. You withhold for the benefit of the other person. Now, being honest about the show date, that's not honesty. That's a ruse. That's just pulling the wool over their eyes.
I'm obviously just like that. That just sort of turned into a tangent of a conversation.
Yeah, just a little bit, but yeah. But no, it's I do it all the time. I have to do it mostly with my kids. I can't be be completely honest with the kids, because sometimes I just want to look at them and say, "You stupid son of a bitch! Who the fuck raised you?" But I don't say that.
I actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I think lying's okay sometimes.
Yes, it is.
I think it is.
I agree with you, because people can't handle. You can't handle the truth. People can't handle the truth. You know, they can't.
Why'd you sound like Macho Man Randy Savage when you said that?
I didn't sound like Macho Randy Savage. I was doing the impersonation.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth, brother. You know, I didn't. It wasn't macho.
No, I think lying's cool sometimes, actually.
Yes, like I lie to save face. Like, Jake, I'm not upset. Yeah, that's a lie. Jake, it's okay. Yeah, that's a lie. Jake, I expect it. Yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah. But then, you know, there's lies like, you know, your friend's like, "Hey, can you come over tonight?" "Nah, I gotta, you know, hang out with my dad."
You know what?
Like, "Nah, I'm not even hanging out with my dad. I just want to stay home.
You know what?
I don't want to make it a big deal."
Fuck that. Fuck that, dude. Dude, your fucking company is named Lonercast. If someone blows you off with a lie like that, dude, you should be heartbroken. If someone doesn't want to hang out with me and they lie to get out of hanging out with me or spending time with me, that is one of the biggest insults I can equate in my mind. Because, dude, think about it. Especially all of last year and this whole coronavirus pandemic. Time on this earth is fleeting. There's a good book out there, Jake. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called the Bible. And it says that time on this earth is nothing but a vapor. Yes, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first time on Jake and Cory that we quoted scripture. But life is but a vapor. So if you don't want to give someone a little small piece of your vapor, that is a huge insult. Huge insult.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You're right. It is my vapor, and not everyone is worthy of my vapor.
I know, but then just come out and be honest then. I don't feel like chilling.
So sometimes my vapor needs to be used on Far Cry 6, you know?
Of course. It always comes back to the fucking video games, you son of a... People that... this is the way that I look at it. I think, like... When it's someone like me and you, we're like close friends. If I were to lie to you, that's pretty fucked. Like, yeah, I would see through it too.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked. Or like me and Nick, like we're pretty close. But I've got other friends that are more like tangential friends that are like, hey, come to this party thing, and I'm like, well, I can't, mainly because I don't want to. You know, like that's definitely happened.
But do you classify those people as friends, or maybe those people are really more acquaintances than friends? Because I've seen you...
We're friendly.
Friendly is one thing, but you can be friendly with an acquaintance. Being friends is someone that you have somewhat of a spiritual connection with, someone that you actually care about, you know, their feelings, someone that you would be there for. That's what I find, and that's what defines a friend from an acquaintance. An acquaintance, I can take them or leave them. I don't give two shits. I've got a freaking dictionary stack of people's names that are acquaintances. But friends, yeah, I think of them as a little bit differently. Like you probably think Nick higher than you do some of those people that are just like, you know, bypassers.
I mean, yeah, but I do think I have like, you know, there's like a friend tier list.
Oh,
you know?
Lord. I have one too. I can't even judge. I think
everyone does if they want to admit it.
People do, but they don't want to admit it. They don't want to fucking admit it. You know, like I know that my friend, I have a friend that if he calls, anything and everything is done, is finished, is over. My best friend, Cheryl, 100%. She calls, I will leave a job. I will leave a paying gig to go do what she needs to do. Anything she wants, it's done. You know what I'm saying? I have those different types. And then I have those friends that are friends / acquaintances where if they reach out to me, then okay, if I'm free or I got nothing going on, which is very rare, then I'm down. You know, and then I also have that group of people, I won't even call them friends or acquaintances, that only reach out to me when they need something. And it normally has a dead president on it. Those people can go fuck themselves half the time, even though sometimes I do help.
So I guess I'm more like loose with the term friend.
Yeah,
because I would say like the people that would call and I might hang out with them if I have time, I would still consider those people friends and not acquaintances. Because, I don't know, we're still like talking and we know each other and stuff. An acquaintance to me is more like a coworker, you know, like that's an acquaintance.
Yeah,
we know each other. We're not really friendly, but we've talked.
You tolerate each other.
Like if someone's calling to be like, "Hey Jake, let's hang out," that's a friend. You know, like I don't know.
No, and it's okay to have different definitions of friends. I mean, we're different people. I mean, just see it a little differently.
Ultimately, friends to me is Joey, Chandler, Ross, Rachel.
See, this is right here where our cultural differences come up, because you think friends, you think some white ass coffee drinking TV show. When I think friends, the only thing I can relate it to is TLC. What about your friends? Will they let you down? Will they be around? Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I immediately went to TLC.
That's true.
And then my church came out, and then there's a church artist named Michael something. It shows how good of a fan I am. He has a song out called Friends, and every time I hear it, Waterworks.
I think of the White Stripes. I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and throw this in there too. Toy Story. You've got a friend in me.
Did you see that new Buzz Lightyear trailer?
Absolutely not. No.
Mm-hmm. So they're making like a Buzz Lightyear movie. It's called Lightyear, but it's not about the toy Buzz Lightyear. It's like if Buzz Lightyear was real and wasn't a toy. So I guess it's like, like how in the movie Toy Story, the toy is based off of some property that Andy would have watched. Yes. Mm-hmm. This is supposed to be like the movie that Andy would have watched.
Okay, so it's
very confusing.
Yeah, so it's a Buzz Lightyear POV.
It's like
or Andy POV.
It's like a movie within a movie.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's weird.
This isn't fucking Midsummer Night's Dreams. It's fucking Toy Story. There's no need to have a play within a play.
Yeah.
Man, that's an old throwback. All you old theater queens out there just threw your hats in the air with that reference, didn't you?
They also replaced Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear.
With his brother? Because his brother sounds exactly like him.
That's Tim Hanks, actually.
Oh.
That's Woody. No, Tim Allen was Buzz Lightyear, and now they got Chris Evans to play Buzz Lightyear.
Superman?
He's Captain America.
Yeah, close enough. They both have a shield.
Yeah. But they didn't show his voice at all, so I don't know.
Speaking of Toy Story, I see, I know I reference TikTok. That's all I have in my life, TikTok and Twitch. And Twitch I'm on the outs with Twitch right now, too. Because my favorite streamer just disappeared. I mean, I think he's dead. I really do think he's DED dead. But TikTok, I scroll through TikTok a lot, especially on the toilet. And I saw this new TikTok that just brings a tear and touches my heart every freaking time, and it's related to Toy Story. It's basically, you hear the song Toy Story, You Got a Friend in Me playing, and then someone's holding their phone, and they're walking up to someone that's laying down either on the bed or on the couch or something like that, and that person's foot is out, and they take a permanent marker, and then they write their name on that person's foot. And I don't know why that's touching to me, but that's effing touching. I'm like, dude, you're claiming your property is what that is. I don't know why that is so freaking like emotional. It's emotional for me. I love it. I love those every time I see it. So now I'm like, now that I watch so many of those, now I'm in TikTok feet TikTok, and I don't know.
Oh no. Oh no.
I was like, oops, I liked one little Toy Story video of someone writing their name on someone's foot. And it's always with a caption like, hey, my girl's about to go hang out with her friends, or my girl's about to go to the club. And it's the dude walking in and writing his name on her foot. You know what I mean? So like any other guys try to steal his toy.
I have one hot take with Toy Story, and it's that Toy Story 4 should never have been made. It should have ended with Toy Story 3, and that's it. With that, we should start the show.
5, 6, 7, 8.
What is up, boyos? Welcome to the Jake and Cory podcast. I'm Jake. That is Cory. What is up, Cory?
What is up, Jake?
Not much. I have two topics that I really want to talk about on this show here. And first and foremost, I did this for you, Cory, because you told me I should, and I promised you I would. I finished Squid Game.
Damn it, of course we would be back in the remote settings, and I don't have my soundboard.
I can insert it, or I'll just singing. How
about you not do that? How about we not do that? But then we'll tell everybody. We'll honestly lie that you did it.
What a callback. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Squid Game with you. We should go full spoilers. And
I think we're past the point of spoilers at this juncture. It's been out for almost a month now. I think
yeah,
we're past
but the thing
spoilers.
is, with a TV show, that's what, 9 episodes. That's 9 hours. I'll throw out a spoiler warning.
Spoiler alert for you slow motherfuckers.
Yeah, but I get it. It's a long show. It's a short show in the grand scheme of things, but it's kind of long.
Right. They're 30 to 25 to 40, 25 to 50 minutes long. No, they're not.
Yes,
I've had this argument with multiple people. They are not all the same length.
They're not all the same length, but I think like the shortest one is like 45 minutes.
The shortest one is 25, 30 minutes long. Which is the last. It is. Why do people argue this?
I'll pull it. I'll pull it.
Pull it up. Pull up your Netflix and look at the last episode. It is either 30 or under 30 minutes, and all of the shows range from all the shows range from 26 minutes, I believe, up to an hour.
I swear most of them are an hour.
They're not all. Okay, now you're back. Now you're backpedaling.
Well, now that I'm on Netflix, Seinfeld started playing, so I gotta go. Actually, gotta watch Seinfeld.
You know what? Sidebar. That's the best fucking bass lines ever. Is in Seinfeld. I love that bass.
Did you know that was all done on a keyboard? Right?
Are you serious?
It's a keyboard, yeah.
Well, why don't you just tell me that there's a man inside the Mickey costume at Disney? Damn it, you ruined it for me. I imagine some big fat black dude sitting around with his bass in his studio back in the 80s just thumping that out. And you tell me that it's a Casio?
Yeah, it's probably just some white dude on a Casio.
Probably some fucking intern that
Episode 1 is 59 minutes of Squid Game.
Okay.
2 is 62 minutes of Squid Game.
Okay.
3 is 54 minutes. 4, 54. 5, 51. 6, 51. 7, 57. 8, 32.
There you go.
And then 9 is 55. So it's all an hour except for one episode.
That's what I said. Are you listening? That's what I said.
That's not what you said.
That is what I said. I said they're all different lengths.
I mean, they're all essentially an hour except for one episode.
Essentially. You didn't say essentially at first. You said emphatically they were an hour long.
I did say that the numbers changed. And I did say possibly the last one.
Roll the tape.
We'll roll it back. I will insert that there.
What is your take on the game of Squid?
So last week I had only watched the first 2 episodes.
Correct.
And since then I have finished the series. And last week I believe I said I didn't really like the main character all that much, and I was worried that maybe it was too overhyped, but I liked the characters a lot and I liked the message of the anti-capitalist stuff. I liked it a lot. I think it's really, really, really good. I think the characters are the best part of the show. I really just connected with all of them, including the guy that I didn't even like. I grew to really like him. His connection with the old man, and then like him and Sung-woo, had that sort of, he really likes Sung-woo, but then Sung-woo kind of turned out to be an asshole in the end.
Yeah.
But then when he does turn into,
that was his brother, right? Sung-woo was his brother.
It wasn't his brother, but they grew up together, right?
No, I believe that was his brother, because his mom always spoke highly of him, and that he was abroad studying and doing all of this, great things in the U.S. But I believe it was. I felt that it was.
I didn't think it was his brother. I thought they grew up together and because isn't that Sung-woo's mom when he leaves at the end? And she's like, "Hey, have you seen Sung-woo? Where is he?" Isn't that his mom, or is that his wife? I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, that's a good question.
friend, brother, whatever. They're close.
See, I always thought that I concluded that woman at the end was asking about the cop's brother.
The cop's brother.
Yeah, the cop's brother that was in.
No, she was asking about Sang-woo, who was the guy that.
Well, then maybe they weren't brothers.
Yeah, or that was just his wife, and I don't know.
I don't know either. No, it couldn't have been his wife because the main character's mom always spoke of how great he was doing over in the U.S. or in college or whatever and all that other stuff. She always praised him up against the lackey main character. And sorry, I don't know all their names. Yeah,
I know. I forget their names as well. Some of them. But I thought she just like talked him up because he was his friend and she knew him. But I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter.
I felt that she talked him up because she wanted him to go down that same path. And she kind of threw it in his face that he was more successful than he was. And turns out that he's pretty much no better than what I think was his brother.
Yeah, I thought that was a through line that they didn't really address too well. The fact that like they at the beginning of the show, you know, our main protagonist, what's his name? Like Ji-hoon or something.
I don't know, dude. You say their names and I'm lost. I don't know their names.
The main guy, he he enters the games and the whole time he's talking up Sung-woo or whatever his name is. He keeps talking him up and he's like, yeah, this guy went to college, blah, blah, blah. And like not really addressing the fact that he's also in the Squid Game. And it's never really fully addressed that like he owes a lot of money and stuff. It just sort of is implied. I wish they spent a little bit more time on that.
Yeah, it was like no, I don't want to say afterthought, but it was briefly mentioned. It was briefly mentioned in a conversation between the two guys that, he had just gotten caught up. But the interesting thing is that I'm going to call him his brother.
Yeah, that's fine.
His brother, when they voted out of the first game after they realized that, this is something that they didn't want, and they all get dropped back off in their cities, and his brother is with that other guy that he wasn't from China, he was from India or something like that.
Pakistan.
How did the brother still have money to give the Paki guy bus fare to get home? So the brother still had some level of money.
I mean, how much is bus fare though?
I don't know, but if they're all degenerates and they all have nothing, I mean, I guess that was a little bit more established later in the show, but it just kind of seemed like he wasn't as bad off. And maybe that, to me, that put me in the mindset of viewing that character as him just being really greedy, because he still had money to give the Paki, money to get on the bus. He still was able to buy food and eat. He dressed nice. So that told me that he was more geared towards greed, having more and more and more than the other characters, which were degenerates and have swindled away all of their money.
I don't think anyone is a degenerate in the games.
The main character, well, not in the games, but the main character is a degenerate. He gets a little bit of cash and he goes and he gambles it.
Well, I think that's I wouldn't say he's a degenerate. I think he's definitely
an idiot.
Hard off. He's an idiot. Yeah, and a gambling addict. But also, I think he's hard out for cash. So he's like, the only way I'm going to get cash is by gambling it.
The only way you're going to get cash is by nefarious ways of using it instead of going out there and being an upstanding member of society. But I think that's
how a lot of poor people in a capitalist society think that way. Like, hey, I'm hard out for cash. Let's go to Vegas. Let's try our luck. Let's play. It made me think also of what's it called? The lottery. A lot of people play the lottery, and who plays the lottery the most? people who are hard out for cash.
Very true.
It's not rich people playing the lottery.
No.
I promise you that.
And it's also, there's another term for it, the path of least resistance. It's easy to take your last $3 and go play the lottery or go and gamble. It's more challenging to take your last $3 and get on the bus and go work a hard day labor at a day labor job.
I mean, that's if you can find labor, because I do think it was like implied that there was a labor shortage in this show, right? I think that was pretty heavily
if there
implied.
Well, then that makes it even more of a substantial point that you take the easy road out when there's a labor shortage. So if there's a labor shortage, or are you saying that there's a work shortage where there's not any jobs?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a working shortage. I guess I misphrased that.
Yeah. Okay. That was a different road.
But also it's like $3 isn't going to do much for him when he owes, 10 billion Wuhan or whatever they're.
I couldn't understand the numbers. I didn't understand the money. But then he owed that not to a bank or a financial institution. He owed that to a whatever those guys, the loan shark.
Well, and they addressed that too, right? Because he couldn't get out a loan at the bank because he goes to the bank and he couldn't get a loan out. After though. Yeah, right.
The dude is a degenerate.
But if you have $3 and that's not going to pay off your debt, it's like, well, I can use this $3 to potentially get way more by betting on this horse. So I lose the $3. That's really not much. But if I win, then that's huge. And he does end up winning, but then he loses it because the really attractive lady steals his money.
Always the poo nanny. Always the poo nanny.
And I really liked her I forget her name as well, but
basically the pocket thief.
Yeah, I really like her in the show.
Did you like where they took that character? Where they took that story?
I am so glad that they didn't turn her into a love interest, which is what I was worried, because I was like, if they turn her into a love interest right now, I'm gonna actually be upset.
Yeah, me too.
Because there's no time for having a love interest while you're in the Squid Game.
No.
It's so vicious
but they softened her. They softened her towards the end. And they took this loner girl who was clearly under the thumb and control of someone else, and they softened her by giving her a friend in pretty much the game before the last game. And she was like, when they were playing marbles, and she was like, you know what? And the friend that she ended up friending, let's not even play it. Let's just play one game at the end. And then that person she was playing with ended up sacrificing the game for her. How did you feel about the brother in the marbles game? I'm referring to him as a brother, even though we know he may not be the brother.
Yeah, with
the brother
him and
in the
Ali.
marbles game with him and the Pakistan boy, and how they really, really dirtied him up in that.
Yeah, I think the marble episode is one of the best episodes.
I agree. It's the most revealing episode as well.
Because it starts off with pair up, so everyone pairs up with their best friend, and we're gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
But then it turns out you're eliminating the person you pair up with, and that is just such that's such a crazy concept. And I think it was one thing I'll say about this show is when they get to the games, you were on the edge of your seat the whole time,
literally,
when they're playing the games, when it was tug of war. Whatever game they were playing, you're in, But I think the marbles one in particular was very, very good. With our main character and the old man playing together. Although I will say, I don't know why he was trying so hard to defend the old man. I mean, if anyone should die, it should definitely be the old man. I'm just saying. The man's literally pissing himself and is going to die next week anyway. But I get it, I guess. But then the brother and Ali My one main issue with Ali as a character, the guy from Pakistan, is like, because he's foreign, they make him almost like stupid. And I don't understand why he was so stupid. You know, they make him almost like childlike. And it's like, just because he's foreign? I don't quite understand him a little
naive. They don't just
make him naive. At one point he says odd or even, and he's like, what's that? I don't know what that is. I don't know what odd or even is with numbers. And it's like, why? Just because he's foreign?
No, I think that played into his naivete or lack of education, which drove him to take advantage of the games. I think that's the way that I viewed it.
And that's fine. Like, you could have those moments where it's like he culturally doesn't understand a thing because he's not from Korea initially. But like, to have the, like, I don't know odd or even, I'm just stupid, I'm an idiot. And it's just to like make us feel bad for him when he ends up getting killed by the brother.
You didn't think you didn't think that was showcasing his lack of education and versus a lack of cultural. I think
it was showing his lack of education, but I just think it's like, why does he have a lack of education just because he's foreign? And just because he's from Pakistan? It felt really weird to me. Like, you know, odd and even is not like a lack of education. That is like, you are mentally unstable and unwell. If you're
someone that grew up, I mean, I looked at it, I saw it a little differently.
He was smart enough to get to Korea, you know, like, yeah. You know what I mean?
But you can
like,
also be dumb enough to get to Korea as well. But I think that, I honestly think that it was just portraying the cultural stereotype of you're not having street smarts because you don't have an education. That's the way that I looked at it. I looked at it.
Well, that's how I looked at it too, but I thought it was a little heavy-handed. But
I mean, he wasn't too dumb. He made a baby. Didn't he have a family?
Yeah, well, you don't have to be very smart to make a baby.
That's true. Just because your head on your shoulder doesn't work right doesn't mean that the head in your pants
literal animals have figured that out. You know what I mean?
That's very true. Seahorses do it themselves.
But that being said, I like the relationship that they had built throughout the games, like him and the brother, because like you see the brother almost siding more with Ali than, you know, his own either best friend or brother or whatever.
I don't think it was on the side of the brother though. I think that friendship that you're speaking of, I think was more on the side of the main character. I think it was the compassion that came through this Neanderthal of a character, because he clearly could have ended his brother and taken on his brother's persona. If those characters were switched and it was the brother at the end, during the end game, I feel the brother would have killed him. The brother would have ended
Ali.
No.
Oh, the brother would have killed the main guy.
The brother would have killed the main guy if it was the main guy that was laying in the middle of the Squid game in the rain.
I agree, but I do think they were building like a relationship between the brother and Ali. Like, it was kind of making the brother a bit more of a nuanced character. Like, because he's not just purely evil. He's just playing the game, you know? And like, you could be mad at him all you want, but like, that's the game, and he was just playing it.
Yeah,
you know?
But the main character didn't always seem to have the game at the forefront of his mind. He had the people at the forefront of his mind more so than the brother did. Because the brother was coming up with all of the strategies on how to win the game.
Yeah, no, you're right, but the brother was thinking like, I have to survive. But that was the thing, is like, the one person he kind of cared about in that entire place was Ali, and they kind of showed that, where like they kind of bonded, because there's that one moment where he's like, hey, when you're out there, don't show him your missing fingers, it'll make you look weak. Yeah, you know, he didn't say we need to get rid of him because he has missing fingers. He was just like, don't show your missing fingers, it'll make you look weak.
Did you tie the opening sequence of the kids playing the Squid Game? Did you tie that? Did you figure out how that tied in?
I just thought it was the old guy playing.
It was. It was number one playing. And that right there was the clue that number one, and I don't know if you figured this out or not. Well, you have if you watched the whole thing.
If you watch the ending, yeah, you know.
Number one was behind it the whole time.
Yeah, he's like the main guy.
He was the one guy that when they cut to a guy that was just sitting in that upper room, that was the old guy. And the old guy wanted to participate in the games because it was more fun, because he was dying anyway. He wanted to be a part of the games instead of being a spectator. But that opening sequence of those kids, that, you know, everything was aged in that sequence. That was dated back to the old guy's childhood.
Makes me think of that line from Hamilton, and yes, I am about to make a Hamilton reference, where Aaron Burr says, "There's nothing rich people like more than coming down and slumming it with the poor."
Yeah,
that's what the old guy was doing. He was slumming it with the poor,
and he was enjoying it the whole time. And there were so many giveaways with that when they were playing the first game. Did you notice how when the big doll's head turned around and everybody was supposed to be still, he was still moving?
Was he?
He moved and didn't get shot.
But it does explain why he was so like gleeful and like having so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, like he was just having a good time because he's like, I just want to play these games, you know.
But it's also a point to governmental, the way that some governments actually do enjoy toying up close. When you think that your political representatives are on your side, they're actually toying with you. That was something that I took away at Kristen Cinema.
Yeah, totally.
They're actually just toying with you. They're playing along. They're right on. They're shoulder to shoulder with you, knowing the outcome or the potential outcome of your fate. That's what I took away from the old man too.
Yeah, I was thinking like, you know, if this game actually existed, you think about it, and it's like, I think I know people that would do it. You know, like I think I know people that would participate.
Jake, the game does exist.
Yeah, it's called The Military.
No, it's called living in any country.
To me, I took this as The Military. Like it, because that is literally, you sign up because you're like, I need financial stability, but then you put yourself out there and there's a high likelihood that you could potentially die.
I see that. Yeah. But I saw it. I see your point. But I saw it as everyday life dealing with any type of government that has given the persona of being bigger than its people, that put the government in power. I see it as that. I see every day. I mean, you talk about, it's not necessarily losing your life, but I look at it as losing your livelihood, losing your job, losing, things that the comforts of life, to people that are in higher positions. I saw a TikTok the other day that said, I was envious of a guy who went to work every day in a suit until I realized he's working for a guy that works every day in his pajamas. So I looked at the Squid Games as it's a game now. We're playing everybody every day of your life. You're playing that game where you're not going to necessarily lose your life and die, but some scholars and psychologists will say like losing a job, losing a car, losing a home is the equivalent of someone dying. You know what I mean? So I feel that there are different forms of death, and we play a game every day. We walk around this planet, especially in this country. We play a game of if we're going to lose our lives or not. I mean, it's a dark way to look at things. I don't focus on it. Because then, good Lord, I'd never be able to do anything. But that's the way that I looked at it.
It's also like, at the end, which, the ending is sort of weird. It's sort of a weird ending.
Yeah.
But, at the end, it's like he wins and he becomes a VIP himself. And they refer to him as a VIP at one point. And it's like, but at what cost? At what cost? you know, you just killed all your friends, you know, and potentially family.
Speaking of the end, this is what I wanted to say to you last week, and I held it back because I wanted you to finish it. Do you feel the way that I feel? I do not want a second season. I don't want a second season. I want it to end, and I said cliffhanger last week. I want it to end where it is. Let us draw our own minds to, because as we have experienced in the last 20 minutes of you and I talking about this, everybody has a different takeaway in some way, shape, or form. We have a different takeaway of this. I don't want them to come back and finish this. I don't want this story to have an end. I want it to just be, okay, he didn't get on the plane. He turned around and he walked away. Did he go back to try to defeat the people in the games, or did he go back to try to, or did he decide to continue his life with his pink hair? That also was very interesting that he chose pink hair when all the people that were the overlords of the games were wearing pink jumpsuits. But I don't want an end to this. I don't want a second season. And I think that it's going to go, because it was so popular, it's going to go down the road of Stranger Things. Stranger Things first season was good. Second season was and then it just went off the rails. I don't want them to finish this. I want them to leave it where it is.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for them. And here's the thing. I probably will watch it. I can't deny it. But
it's so good how it is, man. It doesn't need anything more.
It's going to be tough, though, because everyone's dead. You know, like all the characters we really loved in this show are all dead now.
Except for the protagonist.
The
only protagonist that's dead is number one, the old man. Or did he die?
I think he died. Yeah, I think he's dead.
I would probably surmise that he's not dead, because if he was playing the games and he was doing all this, who's to say that when he was in that bed, he set up that cop to show up to the guy sitting in the snow. So who's to say while he was in that bed, it wasn't him that just, unlatched the heart monitor and made it go flatline to make it a tempt. Or to make
I don't think he set up the cop to. I don't think he set up the cop to pick up the dying person on the street. I think that was to show us, the audience, that no, there is compassion in humanity, and actually, the old man is wrong.
Oh, dude, you don't think that scene was a setup by the old man? You really?
No, I don't.
You don't think that it was happen? You don't think that it was a setup that cop pulled up seconds before it struck midnight? Literally, you don't think that was a setup?
No, I don't. I really don't. I think that was to show that the old man was wrong, and the old man dies knowing he's wrong. But then, but like the other antagonist who will probably replace the old man is that one guy's brother.
The cop?
Yeah, the cop's brother. He's now like the main guy, right? Because he like takes over for the old guy now.
That's true. I don't mean to shit on you, Jake, but there's a YouTube video out there that explains why that guy sitting in the snow, the old man, actually did set that up.
Okay.
It was a setup. He was trying to make a point to the main character. You
think just because some YouTube video said that? I mean, art is all interpretation. I mean, shit.
True. That's very true. And we have some similar interpretations and some identical interpretations of this game. But this is what makes. I would love to hear the theory, though. This is just the sweetness of this series, though, is that it leaves you with such great room to interpret, which is another supporting factor on why I don't want a completion. I don't want a season 2. I don't, because you and I have two different separate interpretate, or you can interpret things so differently, and I think that's what's the beauty of this series. I really do.
I just wonder what he thinks he's gonna gain by playing again. I don't know.
Is he going to play again?
I think that was what was implied, right?
There was a lot of things implied.
I thought the weirdest thing about the show, though, was was that brother, that the cop that was searching around.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
it was weird. I got it. Like, he was looking for his brother, and he's a cop, and he snuck on, and because no one believed that this thing actually existed, so he had to sneak in there to prove that it was real. And
didn't you think that was just way too easy?
Yeah, just like with all the security and stuff,
with all the technology, and
they don't have cameras.
You've got a fucking entire mountain,
right?
That you have somehow converted into this undisclosed game, and you let some dude get the drop on you on a ferry boat, and then take his costume, not speak his language, but then yet one person want to go to you can't even go to the bathroom by yourself in the Squid Game, but then yet I was really lost. Well, not lost, but confused at how easy that was.
Who are all the people that are like the like
pink,
workers?
The pink jumpsuit people?
Yeah, who are all the workers?
They have different where are those people at?
Where are those people from?
Yeah. Also, the emblems on their face mask was their rankings.
Right.
Yeah, there was a square, there was a circle, there was a triangle, and only some could speak and some couldn't. But it was so interesting. How did the cop get away with even sleeping? Because all the rooms for the workers were monitored. How did someone not figure that out immediately?
Like, hey, that guy's looks completely different than the other guy.
Yeah.
But I think it was the fact that there were so many people that it's like hard to keep track who's who.
Or were the workers in themselves slaves? Yeah,
that's implied. Yeah, they are slaves. They don't want to be there either, and because they show that when they're like.
Oh, I know the moment that they revealed that possibility.
They're selling like the kidneys and stuff to the black market, and it's like that whole subsection was really weird.
Yeah, and also they revealed it in that one scene where where they say if they reveal their face, both them and the game player are dead. And
right.
The big head honcho guy did come down a few times in the series and kill dudes in the pink jumpsuits.
Yeah, he hung them up in like the square.
For all to see. Not only for the contestants to see,
to like humiliate them,
but for the rest of the workers to see as well.
Yeah,
but I think that the cop arc, it just seemed way too easy compared to. I mean, dude, you got a freaking big, huge piggy bank hanging in the ceiling full of billions of dollars, and you can't stop a cop from sleeping on.
Like whoever made this show really wants to make a Batman movie, and they're like, let's just put Batman in the middle of this, because that's what it felt like. It felt like Batman sneaking around doing his investigations and stuff.
Yeah, almost. I would agree, almost so. But it was annoying to me. The cop character actually annoyed me, and then
I didn't mind him. It was just like, and I think it was important to like show the behind the scenes of like what's going on, what is the game, because without the cop stuff we wouldn't really get a lot of those reveals.
True, but then I didn't understand
VIPs and all that stuff.
I didn't understand the main VIP taking his mask off and revealing himself to the cop. I didn't understand, was that the cop's brother? Who was the main guy? The main
that was the cop's brother. Yeah,
that was the cop's brother that was behind this entire thing.
He wasn't behind the entire thing.
Behind the games.
He was like the second in command behind the old guy. Because they say earlier, the VIPs show up and they're like, hey, where's the main guy? And he's like, oh, he won't be joining us. He has other business, because he was playing the game.
So that means that he faked his death.
The old man?
Didn't the cop find his brother in the books in the library?
Yeah.
So the cop's brother faked his death.
Or he played the games and won and became a VIP.
Maybe you just figured out where season 2 is going to go.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they were implying, right? Like, is like, because when he goes to the bank, the main character, he goes to the bank and they refer to him as a VIP. You are a VIP. and he's like, I don't want my money. Like, just get rid of it.
Yeah, because he didn't spend the money until he went and got his hair dyed pink.
See, I think the show would have been way better if it just ended with the old guy dying, and then it just shows our main character, our main protagonist, he's just a bum on the street, and he gave it all up. It's not worth it.
I don't want the story to. I don't want a season 2.
I don't either. I kind of do, just because I do want to know what's going on with Squid Game. Like, what is it? Like, I want more lore, because I like the lore stuff behind it. It's
all of those games that they played are actual real kids games.
Oh yeah.
The real life kids games. There's a lot of people running around right now cooking sugar. I know that much. Trying to make those damn cookies.
Yeah,
they did at the end.
Yeah, I loved all the games. The games were good. Yeah, I thought the show was really good.
The only game that kind of was a stretch for me was the High Walk game. I believe the reason why it was a stretch for me because it was the one of the biggest points in the entire series that a lot of CGI was used. And that kind of took me out of it, because one thing that I didn't say last week is that field, that big tall girl with the head that spun around and the eyes moved, that's real.
Oh yeah.
They built that set. The marbles game, that was all real. Very little CGI was used other than, for the sky, I believe. That was all built.
Well, there's a lot of like compositing going on where they're making things look bigger than they actually are. You can tell. You could tell like this show was not made on a huge budget, which makes sense because it's just like a Korean show, and they probably did.
I see it differently, dude. They built everything they built 90% of everything you saw from the ground up. Even the staircase that's modeled after that famous art piece.
Yeah,
all of that was real.
It's an optical illusion, but like it's a lot cheaper to make practical sets than like do a lot of huge CG. It really is.
Yeah, I see your point.
So when they do a lot of the compositing and stuff like that, it really shows. But like it's a beautifully shot show. All the stark like contrast between the colors, where it's like sort of shot like gray, but like with these really bright colors, is like such an interesting choice, and I really liked it. Because you often see shows that are shot like with sort of like a gray film over it, and everything is just sort of gray. This show had like that gray film over it, but with like bright colors,
vibrant color. Yeah, it was beautifully done. Did you watch it with? Did you watch it with English over voicing or voiceover, or did you watch it with the English subtitles?
So I watched it with subtitles. There was one time I turned, because I switched to my living room, which is my sister's Netflix, and I started up the episode, and it started off in English, and the English dub is so fucking bad, dude. I couldn't even handle it. I had to switch it like immediately.
People said that it was good. I watched it with Chinese
so bad.
Subtitles. I didn't watch it
Go watch the first episode with English dub.
I will.
You'll be like, whoa. And to prove it even more, you watched it with the subtitles as well, right?
I did.
When the VIPs show up, those are some of the worst fucking actors I've ever seen in my life, right?
Did they pull those guys from the back? Those were like rejected theater kids.
Those are the 5 American dudes that live in Korea.
I guess because they filmed this during Corona, they didn't fly into Korea, so they had to get the 5 dudes or the 6 guys. I didn't understand the spin with one of the VIPs. I didn't understand the homosexual spin.
What do you mean?
I didn't get it. I was like, what? I don't think
the spin is that he was homosexual. I think the spin was just like he's just gonna rape the.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think the spin is that even those at the top are also have their little secrets.
I don't think it's a secret. I think we're just past the point of like caring that people are gay.
It was just kind of weird how they took just that one VIP and gave him that bit of story when we didn't get anything else from the other VIPs. I thought that was just it was like a sore thumb just kind of stuck out in the whole entire series, is that they're like, oh, there's this big buildup of the VIPs arriving, the VIPs arriving, the VIPs arriving. The VIPs get there. They're the worst characters or the worst actors I've ever seen in my life. And then one VIP decides to take the cop boy and take him into a back room and wants to fiddle his D. And then I was like, why is that? I didn't get why they threw that in.
I didn't think too much about him being gay. I just thought they're like a hypersexual group of people that, and he's like, oh, this little guard here is cute. I'm going to fuck his mouth or whatever.
But how did you, Jesus, Jake.
I didn't really think too much about it.
I just thought it was interesting how they singled out that one VIP.
I just thought it was convenient to the plot, you know. I didn't think too much about it. One thing I really did not like in the show was like the evil lady that was part of the games. I don't remember.
The crackhead?
Yeah, I didn't like her. She was like too comically like villainous.
Oh yeah, the one that had bathroom sex?
Yeah. She was just like too like comically. It felt like she was like a comedic character, and she like took me out of the show a little bit because it's like I don't think anyone would act like that. But maybe, I don't know.
I think she came across to me as that street walking druggie that is doing that is using the only thing that they have left, which is what's between their legs, to try to scam the system. But I agree that she was a little too far comical.
Yeah, it was like
for
too
the
far
entire piece.
And also what I didn't like about her was they almost tried to make her redeemable a bit. Like they tried to make it seem like, oh, she's being sort of manipulated by the guy, the like bad guy that's in there. But I was like, no, she's not redeemable because she still killed 27 people right at the start of the show.
Yeah, and she's
irredeemable. She's not a good person.
She's a loose cannon. It was almost like the street scams that she would run. She tried to run and tried to play in the games, but she was also ostracized by, when they were forming up teams, when they started putting groups together, nobody wanted her. And then she had to pretty much, try to fuck her way in. And when that backfired and it didn't work, then she tried to do the same thing with the main character. And he was like, I'm not going to allow you to be a part of us because of that. I'm going to allow you to be a part of us because
you're human.
But I do agree that she was a little bit more comical than before. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more substance with the main character's daughter. I thought that they kind of sprinkled her in there, but I think that she was more of the main character's reasoning for trying to find a way
just
out
a plot
of his life.
device.
Yeah, I thought she was a little bit more, and I would have liked a little bit more. I thought it was hilarious when she opened up her gift, though. That shit was funny.
Yeah,
you gave your daughter a gun, and not only is it a gun, but it's a lighter.
Yeah, because it almost felt like, when he got back from the games, it's just like, just let your daughter go, dude. Like, because it's like, you've just fucked up and like killed a bunch of people. Your shit's fucked. You're not going to be a good dad after this. There's no way. You might as well just let her go with her stepdad and mom to America.
I think
she's going to be better off out there.
It's so funny that storyline of, leaving Korea for advancement in America. I mean, people that are in America leave America for advancement opportunities more so than Korea. I mean, Korea, they've got all the latest and the greatest of technologies, but I guess the economic equality, the economic divide over there is a lot larger than here in the States.
It's probably pretty similar, honestly.
And that's probably what makes, I thought it was very interesting that they painted America in the light that they did of being the land of opportunity. And
I thought they painted America as like the ultimate evil overlords.
I agree with that too, because
all the VIPs were American.
The VIPs had American, and they had those typical American Southern accents.
Yeah, except for like the one guy that had the Korean accent. But
the
like
horrible, all the horrible VIP actors, the actors behind. I will say this though, man, I want those masks. I'm waiting for people to start producing those masks. I know there's gonna be people making those masks up. I almost reached out to my buddy who's a cosplay guy, and I was like, can you make me one of those masks? I was almost that close to calling him up and saying, dude, I need you to make me a Squid Games mask.
I saw someone make one because they're dressing up as him for Halloween, and they just used a like pasta strainer, like one of those thin pasta strainers, and it was black, and they just put that over there and spray painted a square on it.
It's a fencing mask is really what it is. Is a fencing mask, but real fencing masks are hella expensive. They are extreme. I was almost, and then of course you can't find a pink jumpsuit to save your life now. But I know that there's going to be, there's already Etsy shops up with people offering the costumes. I want the main VIP or the second in charge's VIP mask. I want that mask. That will look cool as hell, just as an art piece on the wall.
Well, Cory, I had a second topic, but we have run out of time.
We have run out of time, ladies and gentlemen.
I wanted to talk about Dune with you, but maybe we could talk about it next week. So stay tuned for that, everybody.
Or we could talk about Dune Part 2 in 3043.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, we got to wrap up the show here. Make sure you check out all the other Lonercast shows. Last Week in Games every Monday at 3:30 on twitch.tv/Lonercast. We're posting a lot of content on the YouTube. You can find this show on podcast services by looking up the Jake and Cory podcast. Pretty much on everything. Still working on Apple. Cory mentioned that earlier. It's a real pain in the ass, Apple.
It is now.
They don't. Yeah, I know. When I first started Lonercast and I got the original feed onto Apple, it was cake. Now it's like this whole process you have to go through, and it's even harder if you don't own Apple products, because I don't. But anyway, so we're trying to figure out the Apple podcast, but we're everywhere else. So yeah, check us out. Make sure you check out Fat Guy Radio Show. You can find that everywhere. Just look up Fat Guy Radio Show. That is Cory's podcast.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. And that's yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us. And I'm trying to do the
5, 6, 7, 8. Good Lord.